if they are really triggered emotionally, I still have a hard time with that because I still have a hard time with intense emotions. So there's been several times where I've just like closed their door and just been like, okay, you can be in your room because I can't deal with this right now. I've really had to work on like the nurturing part of me that stays there.
I think girls need physical affection from their dads.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is a complete mindfuck to watch your daughters grow into like
Right.
new bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's just a trip to see how nature will do what it's going to do. And
Right.
girls will become
For
women,
sure.
point blank. Like, that's what's going to happen.
No matter if we're ready for it or not.
Welcome to the Derelict Podcast. For the disparaged, depleted, and delinquent souls trying to find our way, we're talking about the scary part of the journey, where we don't know how it'll end. Let's be free to face our fucking failures in real time, as the most unadulterated, truest version of who we are. No sugarcoating. Welcome to the shit show, you derelict.
Hey, Tyler.
Oh, hi, Josh.
How's it going?
So good.
Yay! So good to see you.
Let's check in with our guest who we have here.
Not good to see me.
And
It's better
great
to see
Can you
me.
just like at least validate me for half a second before we get to the guest?
Rude. No.
I don't want to ignore our guest though.
Veronica, it's so nice for you to be here.
Obviously.
Obviously.
I waited always for that moment, and
Validation.
Veronica, we're so happy that you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
Veronica is the best. Do you want to say anything about Veronica?
Yes, Veronica Darling is joining us, and she has more parenting experience than both of us combined.
That's
so
true.
I'm really glad that she's
true.
on the podcast.
She has a lot of kids, and they're older than ours,
Mm-hmm.
and wiser, and she's obviously a much better parent.
I have
Ben
18
Tyler.
years.
We don't compare. Didn't we already talk about that in a podcast about the danger of comparison, Josh?
Did we?
We did actually.
I might have been stoned for that one. No? I don't know. I know, I've always been sober. Never mind. Veronica, so
Yes.
glad you're here.
Yes, me too.
Awesome.
And that's true. I have 18 years of parenting under my belt.
She does.
And yes, have launched.
How many
a
kids do you
child.
have? How many
4
kids?
kids
4 kids.
so far. Ha, just kidding. 4 kids forever.
Did you say you launched a child already?
I launched one child.
How old is that
Semi-launched.
child?
He still lives with me, so I don't know if that counts.
Oh, okay.
He's
Semi-launched.
doing adult
18,
shit,
right?
He's 18.
But is he working and shit?
Works
or
full
like,
time. Goes
okay.
to school full time.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Great. College or?
Yeah, he's at community college. He's
I
gonna
didn't know
have his
that.
degree in 2 more years.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Mhm.
With what?
Oddly enough, audiovisual engineering.
Oh, why isn't he here? It took us like an hour to set this shit
I
up.
know, I was thinking I should probably just text my son, but anyhow, yes, this is what he does. He wants to do it for like giant concerts, Broadway
Oh,
shows,
cool.
and then like Dr. Dre style in the studio producing albums.
But only with Dre.
I mean, ideally, wouldn't everybody pick
Yes,
to produce
I
it?
would.
So, yes, very proud of him, but
That's
was it for
awesome.
kids? Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And on top of that, you've done the broad spectrum of parenting experience with fostering and adoption.
Yes, yes. So one of my children is adopted, and we fostered a couple times, but we are not fostering currently. And I don't know what the future holds. We might do it again. So we'll see.
That's awesome.
We'll see.
Well, if you didn't guess, today's episode is Failure in Parenting, Part 2, right? We did one of these before.
Yeah.
And now we get to talk about all the stuff Tyler didn't want to talk about in the first one.
yeah. Yep.
We-
The hot button issues.
I'm not sure if we're going to get to all of it. This might end up turning into 2 as well. But
I
we
think this is a 2-parter.
originally said it was about daddies, sex, and the eye in the sky.
The eye in the sky. What does that mean?
God.
Oh, God is the eye in the sky.
Yes.
Like
isn't
Sauron?
God your eye in the sky? Yes.
You're going Lord of the Rings.
I always picture God as in the Monty Python God.
Oh,
from
okay.
Holy Grail.
Yeah.
That's always how I picture God. But I don't even think we're getting to God today. Maybe just daddies and sex, which sounds weird together.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that word anymore. I was originally going to call it daddies and daddies, but I didn't know if that was appropriate.
It's not.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry. Wah, wah.
So usually we start out our podcast with kind of sharing some recent failure in the realm of what we're talking about. So, Josh, do you have a recent failure that you can share with the club?
I do. I actually had a win too. Am I allowed to share that during the failure part?
Wrong.
If
if
it feels right, do it.
One of the failures I was saying, I don't even know if this is a failure. So I wrote it down, but then I didn't even know if it was actually a failure because sometimes my independence and codependency fight each other. But recently, I have these scheduled FaceTime calls with my kids when they're with their mom. And if I don't call them at the exact time, it's really hard to get a hold of them, just based on whatever they're doing. And I almost answer every single one, and I make sure that it's on my calendar, I'm good, and everything else. And the other day, I was too high to answer the phone.
I remember that.
And I don't know if I was too high to answer the phone. Like, I could have answered the phone. But I was just like, yeah, I don't know if I want my kids having a conversation like this. It would be like if you had too many drinks, right?
Right.
So I don't know if that's a
You're not all
fail.
the
Like,
way
I
there.
was relaxed. I was enjoying myself. I was on a trip for my birthday. You were there. It was fantastic. But I did feel bad. I definitely had some guilt over it afterwards. I don't know. Is that a fail? That's what I thought of when I thought of it. What do you think, Veronica?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I mean, I wouldn't have missed the call.
Yeah.
But we're different people.
We are different people.
I think only you can answer. if
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
okay
that's
or
just,
not.
I don't think it's a failure. I think it's just a choice made.
I don't think it's a failure. I just decided I made that choice. I was
mean,
like, you
your
know what?
kids could have experienced a degree of disappointment either way. Disappointment in you not being completely coherent or present in the conversation. Or
Right.
disappointed that you didn't pick up the phone. You just chose which type they would experience, I guess.
Yeah, and
Call
frankly,
for it.
a lot of times my kids, they like talking to me, but like my son, he's been saying this a lot lately that like he sometimes doesn't even want to FaceTime me. It's
Yeah.
actually really sweet because he says he misses me too much, so he doesn't actually
I
want
get
to talk
that.
to me on the phone.
I get that, but yeah.
And there's this like
I
codependent
would
nature
say-
of me that's like, oh, must answer phone at all times.
Yeah, I mean, I would say totally. That's probably very genuine. Just be careful to like rely on that too much when you're wanting to not have to make the call. Like, oh, they don't want to hear from me anyway, so it's fine.
You mean that like it's a
I
slippery
feel like we're in
slope?
therapy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just that's as it's coming to me. Like that's the only thing I can.
I'm
think
holding
of.
your hand. We're in therapy.
Oh.
Does this make you
No,
uncomfortable?
you're in therapy.
You're in there.
Oh.
I haven't started on time.
You're not. I.
Yeah.
Goodness, I didn't know that's
Don't
what
worry, we'll
this
get
kind
there.
of
I
podcast
often
is going to
do.
be.
I often do.
Good
But-
thing we
Dr.
invited
Veronica.
you. Thank you, Dr. Veronica.
Okay. I will follow up with my failures.
Okay,
I'm
good.
not-
Yay!
Therapy
Veronica's
is
not
me.
perfect.
I'm not perfect.
Therapize.
So, I
It's
actually-
like weaponizing of therapy.
I pulled my kids for this because I thought that maybe
You pulled them?
yeah, like
Oh,
I
yeah.
called them in individually and I asked them
Okay.
like what they thought my parenting failure, like my most recent parenting failure was, and they were all happy to oblige with feedback.
Oh, okay.
And so I will have you know that one of my children said that I failed to communicate with specificity
Oh, okay.
about chores,
Oh,
and then had an explosion of rage over my unmet expectations.
Wow.
Accurate.
okay.
That did happen.
Wait,
We can
you
unpack
had
it.
Can
the
confirm.
Can confirm.
You had the rage?
I had the rage over my
Got it.
unmet expectations. I thought I clearly
So were you
communicated.
vague? Were you vague about?
I did not
in this
feel like I
person's-
was vague,
but they felt like you were.
One child felt I was vague.
Are they a pretty detailed child? Did it come as a surprise to you?
No, I think this was a cop out, but this is the feedback they offered me, so this is what I'm accepting.
Okay.
It is what it is. The second piece of feedback I received is that I don't listen to them explain their perspective, even when we all know it's bullshit. They want me to hold space for the bullshit explanations they know they're giving me.
Yeah, it's pretty much every time I get on this
And I
podcast with
don't-
Tyler. I get it.
I don't have time or patience for that, but I'm gonna try that next time and see how it goes. And then two other children offered me feedback and said that it is not fair to them when I get mad at one child for not meeting an expectation or, you know, doing what they were supposed to do, and then they feel like I'm mad at all of them. Those are the ways just this week in which I have failed.
And when you got that feedback, how did you receive it in the moment?
Well, I mean, it
So right
all
now you
happened. It's
seem
totally
very accepting.
No,
of
I
it.
was accepting, but you know, it was days after it had happened. I think that's probably a big part of it. Is if they were like, you know I know what I'm saying isn't true or is dumb, but hear me out. I'd be like, absolutely not. Who has time for this?
Yeah.
No, immediately no. Or like, I know we agreed that I would do this, but I didn't do it. Oh well, absolutely not. So, like, for them to come to me, like, later, and I was asking them for feedback, and so I felt it really important to just receive it, however they gave it to me. And the one about maybe my level of response in proportion to what they perceive as the slight, for them, they're communicating it feels extreme. I hear that. And then also, I think that goes hand in hand with the feedback that when one kid pisses me off, they feel like I'm mad at all of them. Totally things I should work on. So they're valid. That's where I'm at.
Do you feel like you project madness at all of them when you're upset with one of them?
No, but I am very aware that I have this gift of projecting emotion unintentionally. But when I am mad, I know why I'm mad. I know exactly who I'm mad at or the situation I'm frustrated. Sometimes I'm mad at myself. But it emanates from me with such, it's like radiant. It just comes out, and I cannot suppress it, even when I'm aware of it. I have to literally remove myself in order to remove the feeling from the room sometimes. And so that's not a cop-out. That's definitely not okay. It's something I need to work on. But it is something that happens, that I'm aware of.
Like you're filling the room with your energy, whatever that energy
Whatever
is.
the energy is, it is in all the ways that like my anger or my frustration or even my deep sadness or grief can emanate from me, so do my joy and my exuberance. So, I mean, and that's kind of tricky for me because people love when it's a happy feeling and hate when it's a bad one, But for me, it's constant. So, the level at which I emit this energy is constant. So, anyways, all that to say, good feedback from my kids, definitely valid.
I might start doing that. I might start trying to check in with them more and asking them for that feedback, because that sounds like it was really, really good stuff.
They have it at the ready, which tells me that I probably don't do it as much as I should. And I do it quite often, but I should probably even check in a little bit more frequently. And they were very specific with their examples.
Sounds like it.
They're ready to give the feedback, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
But as long as they feel safe,
Right.
which obviously you've created that environment so they feel
Hopefully.
safe.
Hopefully, yeah.
Well, they
Well,
wouldn't have told you
They
otherwise.
wouldn't have been that honest.
They wouldn't, yeah, there's
Right,
no,
yes, okay,
there's
so
no way.
that's affirming. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Well, it's true.
Okay, Tyler, you're a
absolutely
failure.
true.
Tell me all about
My
it.
failure, something I thought I'd worked on, but it came back up. It was that bedtime, super frustrating sometimes. Sometimes it's sweet. Sometimes you just want them to go the fuck to bed. And I was frustrated about that and some other stuff, but I thought I was like keeping it pretty cool. And they asked me point blank, Dad, are you angry? Or are you frustrated or something like that? And instead of acknowledging that they were sensing that from me, I said, no, I'm not angry. And so I basically invalidated their feeling of getting this energy off of me. And I'd just been thinking about how I wanted to make sure I was being honest and expressive with my emotions. So they learned that from me. And then I had to go backtrack after everything was calm, they were in bed, and be like, yeah, back there, Dad was a little angry.
Yeah, that's great. Though.
Totally, yeah.
Good for you for going back, because you could have easily just shoved it on the rug and said, like,
Oh,
tomorrow's a
it
new
is
day,
easy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I get
Absolutely
that.
it is.
I for sure get that. That's my failure. That's your failures.
Appreciate that.
Chad likes to say, another day, another failure. So there's that.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Chad.
All right, I know I'm not supposed to do this, but can I just
What's
talk
your
a little
win?
bit about a win?
Tell me your win.
Well, our win kind of came together, and that's why I wanted to mention it. It was, I took my daughters to the daddy-daughter dance at a church that both of us used to attend. You don't still go there, right?
Nope.
No. And rented the limo, had the girls, the dads, everything else, and it was just amazing. Like, my girls felt so special and so loved, and we weren't able to go last year because of scheduling. So it had been a couple years, and they're not that old, and they just had time of their life. Just loved it. I do a lot of things with my kids that I just did not do before. I'm very intentional with those things, and I'm just so grateful when...
It's so important, though. I'm
It
so
is.
glad you do that.
It is. And I never used to be that way, and I had to go through a lot of life shit before I got to that point with my kids, and it's just amazing. Didn't your girls have a great time? They sure seemed like it.
Yeah, they did, and it was really special.
Fee was surfing in the limo,
Yeah.
which was awesome.
And your daughter was doing contortionist gymnastics. So both of our daughters are very different from each other, but I got to spend a lot of really special time with my oldest, while my youngest ran around like a drunk sorority girl. So she just...
And I was the opposite.
Your oldest, yeah, they were running around.
Yeah.
Could not be bothered. I maybe danced with my youngest for like 5 minutes out of the whole night.
Did it?
But then my oldest got a lot of attention one-on-one dances with me, and it was really sweet.
And mine was the opposite, where my oldest was with your youngest, and then my youngest was with me the entire time. So I got a really special time with her. And honestly, speaking of parent fail, this was, I don't know if I'd say it's a fail, but I definitely had a hard time with that too. I'm like, I want to dance with my oldest, right? But she was having such a good time. And there were definitely moments where like I went and grabbed her. I was like, no, you will not have fun with other children. You're here with me. this is the daddy-daughter dance. I don't hear daughter and friends dance. And I really had to catch myself because she was having such a good time. I'm like, isn't that the point?
Well, yes, but also there's something to really be said about the fact that she was perfectly aware of the fact of the opportunity.
Yeah.
The opportunity to be tethered to you in that space was there.
Yeah.
She didn't need that
Right.
in that moment. You were there, and she felt special, and her friends were there. And sometimes that's it though, like knowing that you're available and in her corner,
Totally.
nearby, is enough.
And she felt comfortable enough to do
Totally.
it, which I felt really great about.
That's a tough lesson to learn as a parent.
It
I
is.
think.
It
That's
is.
really,
And
really
my
tough.
kids aren't, my daughters are almost 7 and 9. So they haven't even hit like teenage years
You're on
or
the cusp
these
of
other
it,
years
man.
that you've dealt with. So,
You're on the cusp
already.
of it.
Right, exactly. And my daughter, who's 9, has kind of acted like a teenager for years. Like she's just that type of personality.
Totally.
Middle child and like always just kind of doing all this stuff. We have a great relationship, but it was definitely like, okay, it's coming.
It is. That it is.
I was also really happy that she just felt comfortable being able to do that. Like she
love
didn't
that.
have to be with me the entire time.
Yeah, that is sweet.
Independence.
Yeah, for sure.
Will serve them well one day.
So speaking of that, what are we talking about today? We're talking about fatherhood, right?
Let's talk about sex, baby.
We're talking about sex too. Yeah. So we're talking about
talking
the core.
talking about sex.
Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly. Yeah, we're talking about like the core job of parents,
That's actually
especially
true.
fatherhood. And then, Veronica, I'm so glad that you're here because I'd love to hear some just women's perspective on dads. I mean, you have a husband,
I have
and
so much
you
to
have.
say about dads.
Yeah, you do, right. And I can't wait. I feel like it gives a better balanced conversation. I was telling Tyler the other day, I always enjoy balanced conversations on the podcast, and I thought it would be really great for Veronica to be here so that it could be more balanced. Wasn't I saying that to you, Tyler, the other
It
day?
sounds so much like something you would say.
Yeah, actually,
naturally phrased.
it was exactly what Tyler said to me, in fact, and I just took credit for it.
Well, I am curious to hear what you guys have to say because this was another section that I took straight to my kids. And I polled them with some of the questions that you guys have in your own.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And so I'm super excited to hear your guys' perspective.
Oh, good.
And to share with you guys what my kids thought and then to share with you guys my perspective as a woman and a mom.
I love it.
Let's start with your kids' perspective.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's do it.
please.
So I asked my kids, what is the core description of a dad? And
Question.
it was really interesting to hear their feedback because it's all shaped from their experience, right?
Right.
So each person, I think, may have a more nuanced or subtle answer for this. So some of the answers that I got are to be a math teacher. I think maybe one of the things we didn't explain is I'm a homeschool mom, and my husband takes on the math portion of our curriculum. So my husband is actually the math teacher. Good dad jokes was another answer
Wow.
I received.
Okay.
Solid response. Male perspective. I will quote one of my sons.
What does that mean?
One of my sons said, "Dad has a dude brain, just like me." And when I asked him to explain that more, he said, "You just think differently than boys do, Mom."
Huh.
And they feel seen in a way by their father that I cannot see. I have no perspective there. And my boys also said, well, one of my boys said, "You teach me what kind of man I should become, and Dad teaches me how to be that."
Wow.
And I thought
That's
that
high
was so
praise.
profound.
Can you say that one more time?
Yeah, so my son, I was asking them these questions. My son said, "You teach me, Mom, what kind of man to become, but Dad teaches me how to be that man. Like how to become that man, that guy."
I want to write that down and just think about it for like.
I mean, there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack.
Really fascinating.
But it just like, boom. Oh, yeah, what the value of a dad? Well, this is it. I mean, it just flowed from them.
What do you think about
Which one
that?
said that?
Connor said an iteration of that, but those exact words came out of Patrick's mouth.
Wow.
Connor was the
Patrick
one
the
who
sage.
said, he's well, both my boys are romantic, but he's definitely more sensitive. He's more of a thinker, and he's an emotive, though, for sure. They also said that dad, my husband, is the one who is the breadwinner in our family. And my kids said that they get toughness and work ethic from dad, which initially felt like a slight to me. But I'm going to take it as a credit to my husband and disregard how I interpreted it. My girls had a lot to say.
Can I ask you a question on that real
Totally.
quick? So,
Let's
I
do
mean, it makes sense in my mind logically why somebody would say that, right? Like if he's the one that's working, bringing in the bacon, all that sort of stuff. But obviously that, like you said, you could take it as a huge slight to like everything that you do as a mom, which frankly, I would argue a lot of the time is much harder than what I do for a living, frankly, is being a mom.
Yeah, but I think
But I don't think that's how they meant it.
I was just going to say, I think this is how I'm going to choose to interpret it, because if I think from my baby's perspectives, we do life together.
Right.
And there's no check that comes in the mail for that.
Right. Correct.
And so, while it is work, and they certainly have no idea the extent that it feels like
Of course
work
not.
some
Yeah,
days for me.
absolutely. Absolutely.
For them, I feel like this is a really beautiful expression. They're saying to them, they can't tell that I'm working hard. To them, I'm just their mom, and I'm doing life with them. And I think there's something very sweet about that. If
Well,
I
yeah,
choose
'cause-
to take it that way.
You could definitely take it that way. And also then work ethic comes with maybe a little bit of a assumption that it's hard, like you said. Like
Yeah, well, they get that perspective from Chad. You know, he'll
That's
say,
what I'm saying.
I had a really hard day. I have a client I don't want to work with. I have a problem I need to solve. I have a all-nighter tonight. These things that I don't necessarily call out or plan or, you know, I'm sure moms do those things,
but
but
what-
not in that way.
and it also might just mean that they see that you love your job.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. It sounds like it. I mean, honestly, they gave me great feedback. I feel like it might be the
I love
case.
it. I love it.
But, you know, what really got me is that the boys kept reiterating that their dad understands them in a way that I can't. Because I asked them from multiple angles. Like, do you think that just on my own I could teach you how to be a man? Do you think that there's things, I mean, we could YouTube anything, we could learn any skill. Like, do you think I could teach you these things? And both of them, independent of each other, said, no, dad understands us differently. And so I'm curious to hear your guys' responses to that. But that's what my boy said. And I thought that was really valuable.
Can I give you a quick story on that the other day?
Sure.
That didn't even happen with my kids. It actually happened with my girlfriend's kid.
Yes, I want to hear it.
So I feel my girlfriend has a son who's the same age as my son, who is my oldest. And I was at her place the other day, and he was just having a hard time. You know, she let him have some screen time. He was having a hard time getting off of it. We've all been there before.
Totally.
Get off the what's it
The
called?
dopamine device.
Yeah, the dopamine device that Jonah says. The dopamine delivery device. Is that what it was? Dopamine delivery device, right?
DDD.
So he was having a hard time with it. He got off. I asked her, I was like, look, I don't want to overstep any bounds. I'm obviously not his dad or anything else, but do you mind if I go talk to him? And she said, okay. And I went and talked to him, and I just thought it was really evident. I don't think I did anything fantastic or anything, but I came into his room with very masculine energy. And I have a lot of masculine energy. Not every man does, right? We all have masculine and feminine energy. I just tend to have more masculine energy, especially in situations like that. So I can bring a different sort of masculine energy than she brings, right, to the same situation. And originally, I saw him respond really well to it. I felt like he responded really well to the masculine energy. And came out, apologized, you know, all that sort of stuff. It really seemed authentic, etc. And then I kind of just like went away, and then she was kind of working with him again, and then it got back into feminine energy, then he kind of had an issue, you know what I mean? It was interesting to watch. Like, there was a moment where I just watched her inside the room with him, just like being really nurturing and caring and sympathetic, and just a lot of feminine energy pouring out, and that was really helping him as well, which I don't have.
Right.
I'm not a very nurturing person. I'm just not in general. It was so fascinating to me to watch him respond so well to masculine energy and so well to the feminine energy in such different ways.
I think as humans, we crave both, and there
For
are
sure.
situations where we need maybe like a blunt, honest, firm truth, and sometimes we just need a soft place to land. And I think people are capable of being both. But yeah, it was just interesting to hear my kids say that, like, no, their dad gets them differently than I get them. We both get them, but just from totally different perspectives. And I think just relationally, as you know, people, we all think differently. We come from different experiences in different places. So it doesn't seem like that far-fetched of an idea at all. It just struck me as very, very insightful coming from my kids. That they picked up on that.
It is very insightful. I agree.
And I don't know if we said my youngest is almost 12, and then my oldest is 18 and a half. So that's the age range of the kids that I was schooling. So don't think that like 4-year-olds are coming up with this type of thing.
Yeah, but still, for a 12-year-old,
That's true, yeah. I think it's really insightful.
Yeah.
Do you
Can we
want
take
to
a
use
quick
your phone?
potty break?
Sure.
Since we're in the middle of a break anyway right now.
Sounds
All right, this part isn't getting edited out, and here's the reason why: is because we're in Tyler's house recording this right now, and I always use the downstairs bathroom since I'm not allowed upstairs, since given my history. And in the downstairs bathroom, there is wet toilet paper in the sink for some reason, and then the toilet paper on the toilet roll thing, you know, like the little metal thing, is just like it looks like there's just strips of it just laid out, like somebody ran out of toilet paper and then just put little strips of toilet paper
You do know you misspelled derelict.
in
right?
there. They misspelled it. Yeah, they messed it up. In the proof, it's correct. It has the T. In this one, it does not.
What do you mean?
It doesn't have the T.
Yeah, but how's that proof?
No,
You
no.
got it correct.
He means in like
The
what
proof
you sent
that
in.
they sent me, that when I
So you didn't
ordered
have to
this,
pay for that, hopefully.
no, I'm gonna have to return it now because it doesn't have the T.
Did she point it out? Did you just realize it?
No, of course I realized it before.
I didn't realize
Of
it before.
course.
I didn't either.
Oh, you did.
I was just like, that doesn't look right to me. Maybe
You're right.
I'm
It's missing the T.
misspelling it.
I will show you the proof with the T in it, and then it's funny because then I got another email without the T. So I had a
Oh.
feeling that it might show up without the T, and it did. So it's the Derelict
Interesting.
podcast.
I mean, if they put a K, it would be kind
Derelict
of
my
funny.
balls. Derelict. We should get shirts to say Derelict my balls podcast.
No, you shouldn't.
I'm just kidding. We should definitely should. All right. As we're moving on, Veronica, I was curious. Have you read this book, this quote on here by Meg Meeker? Have you
I
read?
haven't, but I was just enraptured with the concept, and I really read over it quite a few times, and
It's a great
I love
book.
it.
I'm gonna make a little plug for this book. It's called Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters by Meg Meeker. Meg is paying us a little bit for this ad. Is that where you're laughing? I was gonna say that. You're waiting for it.
Every time.
I really thought about not doing it just because I
But
could
then
tell
you
that
saw
you're.
my smile.
Yeah, and then I decided I would do it.
Every time he tries to throw an affiliate link into the podcast.
That's because eventually there will be affiliate links, and I'm just
I love that
fucking
whole
vision casting
spirit.
that shit,
Yeah,
right?
that's great.
But anyway, she has a lot of good quotes in here. She is a doctor, I can't remember, a psychologist, I believe. Wrote this whole book about how strong dads make strong daughters, basically, hence the title. And this is the quote that she said. And Veronica, I'd love to hear your feedback on this quote. It says, "Men, good men, we need you." She's obviously speaking from a woman's perspective. "We mothers, daughters, and sisters need your help to raise healthy young women. We need every ounce of masculine courage and wit you own, because fathers, more than anyone else, set the course for a daughter's life. Your daughter needs the best of who you are, your strength, your courage, your intelligence, and your fearlessness. She needs your empathy, assertiveness, and self-confidence. She needs you."
Yeah,
Thoughts?
I mean, I think that's a fantastic quote, and I think it's so interesting because I think you led with girls need strong dads, and I think if you polled 100 men and asked them what strong means,
Mm.
you would get a variety of answers, and not all of them would be conducive to raising daughters.
Yeah.
True.
And
Yeah,
so
for sure.
the fact that this quote really extrapolates words like courage, intelligence, fearlessness, but also empathy,
Mm-hmm.
assertiveness,
Mm-hmm.
and confidence. These are things that I think, I don't know that every dad is aware that his daughter could benefit from assertiveness, but also their self-confidence. I mean, when you think of the idea of like a weak, insecure man that doesn't exude strength, or maybe like a false sense of strength, right?
Mhm.
So someone really grounded in themselves and really grounded in their role, and empathy is a nurturing trait, is a connective trait, and so I love that that was included in this quote. And I think it really leads to the question. I want to hear your guys' responses. What is the core job description of dads?
Mm-hmm.
With that in mind, what do you guys do as dads?
Before I answer that question too, I love what you said because it makes me think of strong is not muscles.
Totally.
Strong is not.
It's guns.
Bingo!
Trucks and guns.
Love it. America.
America. It's a big flag coming out the back of my pickup truck
With a handy.
with
No, I
a
love
big
it.
Trump
Like-
sticker.
But right, but like, what does it mean? You know, what is
Yeah.
that? What is strong?
That's a good
Maybe
question.
what does that mean to each of you? I could see how, just knowing you guys, I mean, your friend, how that might mean different things to each of you.
For Tyler, it's your legs being strong enough for ballet, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Is that what
Me-
you demonstrated at the father-daughter dance?
Oh,
a lot
he did.
of pirouetting.
Oh, he did. And I have
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah.
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 Plie.
Okay, but seriously,
So what's-
Tyler,
okay,
what
what's
is
our answer?
what is dad's
Oh,
job?
our host is bringing us back on track. I love
That's
it.
right. I'm taking charge. It's my way.
So the dad's job is to pour everything they have of who they are into their kids. So that means every good part of them. And so, like, if
That's an important distinction.
yeah. But whether we want to or not, we are going to pour our bad parts in too, right? So you want to be the healthiest version of you that you can be. They're going to pick up on everything.
Yeah, they are.
And so being the healthiest person you can possibly be, grounded, centered, know what your purpose is, know how you are expressing yourself, how you are loving, and doing that with some of these traits like that strength and that fearlessness. I feel like a lot of times we're afraid of fucking up in some way. And so we kind of cut our legs off in parenting often by either not having hard conversations, which we're going to talk about later,
Agreed.
avoiding topics, avoiding tough decisions, or being too reactive to our kids and letting our kids' emotional state wind us up and get in these power cycles. So being just the calm, steady, best version of ourselves that we can be is how we raise up kids that are going to be decent human beings.
So, how does that differ from a mother's role? Is it different from a mother's role?
I mean, it really depends on if you're co-parenting together or
Right.
in separate households. Like, I would say that every parent is just, their job is to put in as much of themselves as they can. If they're bringing masculine energy into it, because they're a guy that, as Josh said, he has a lot of masculine energy. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but yeah, it just emanates from
You
him.
can feel it, can't you?
Yeah.
Poking him. Josh, what would you say is the core job description for dads? And I guess my follow-up made-up question, totally not on our radars until now, is does it differ from a mom's
Which is
job?
a great question.
Is it different?
It is a really great question. I mean, the first thing, and this could just be my own experience right now talking, because this part I think is true for moms as well, and that is what's been on my mind a lot the last couple of years. And when I found that I've become a better dad, and I'm hopefully still becoming a better dad, is being present with my children. And presence to me is being in whatever the moment is, fully in it. And that is extremely hard for me. I get very distracted. I have ADHD. I'm all over the place. I love ups and downs and everything else. And it's hard for me to just really be present. And being really present with my kids to hear what's going on in their lives and to actually just be there in the moment, whatever moment they're in, is extremely important to me. Now, is that any different than a mom? I don't think so. I think that's very similar for moms and dads.
Sure.
For myself, because of the fact that I bring so much masculine energy everywhere I go, it intimidates some guys.
Oh, is that directly
But
at me?
no, not at all.
He just
I'm
wants
so
to make
intimidated.
I just
deep eye
happen to be
contact
staring
with
at
you.
you
Yeah.
while talking because you're the only other guy in the room
Yeah.
right now. If we go back to parenting fails, one parent fail that I can think of that I've made several times with my daughters is that they, this isn't always true, but I think a lot of the times girls can get more triggered emotionally than boys can. It's just been my experience, at least with my girls and boy. And if they are really triggered emotionally, I still have a hard time with that because I still have a hard time with intense emotions. So there's been several times where I've just closed their door and just been like, okay, you can be in your room because I can't deal with this right now. I've really had to work on like the nurturing part of me that stays there. But the only reason I'm telling that story is because I feel like that's where moms with that nurturing energy bring a lot more to that.
Gotcha.
But now, you know, in a divorce divided household where it's just me with my children, it's not just their mom, and there's a guy there as well. So like they have kind of both energies there. But that's where I failed. So that's kind of leading up to the way I'm trying to answer your question, in the sense that where I feel like I succeed is that I feel like I bring persistence and courage and strength in a way that they're not getting from the feminine energies in their life. Not that one is better than the other, obviously. I just feel like that's more of kind of a generally a masculine kind of energy that I bring to that. And what I also feel like is that just kind of lets them figure stuff out themselves. It also lets them, I don't know, grow in a way that I feel it's different than a feminine energy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does make sense to me. But I guess what I want to clarify is, am I hearing you say that the empathy component, when they're in a hard emotion and maybe in your perspective are overreacting to something, is it that empathy touch point that is more difficult for you? Like that's your growth area?
Yeah, it can be. But even with empathy, I think bringing empathy with a masculine energy is different than bringing empathy with a feminine energy.
Huh. Okay.
How so?
I think from what I've seen and experienced, at least, a feminine energy is kind of more of a nurturing, empathetic energy of like, let's figure this out, let's talk it out, how are you feeling, you know, like that sort of thing, which I think is extremely needed and very, very important. I feel like part of my childhood, I didn't have that, so I like really want my kids to have that. And then I think the other empathy part is like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's more of like, okay, that's it. You don't need to keep crying about
Yeah, like
this.
I see you. This is the emotion
I
you're
see you,
and also
but you're
let's move
stuck
on.
in your emotion.
Right.
So let's help you move forward with your emotion, which I also feel is very empathetic.
Yeah.
Because I'm not just letting someone stay in their emotion,
Yeah.
but I'm actually trying to help them. How do I deal with this emotion?
Yeah.
How do I then move on? How
I
do I
struggle
do
with that
sort
too.
of
Like
thing?
just sitting in the emotion for what I feel is an excessive amount of time.
Yeah.
I struggle with that too.
For sure,
You know what's
yeah.
interesting is I'm female and you're male, and I feel like we both actually probably operate in a very similar way
And again,
in that area.
so it's a good point. I think we've already brought this up, but I want to bring it up again on the podcast because I feel like a lot of people get stuck here. This is not male female.
Totally.
This is masculine energy and feminine energy, and every single person on the planet has both.
Yeah.
And some men have more masculine energy, some men have more feminine energy.
And also, I guess one of the other things I want to bring up is there's another portion which isn't mentioned in this quote, but I feel like I just would be remiss to not bring it up.
Sure. Yeah.
And being that I'm a daughter, I feel like I have
Please.
perspective here.
Yeah,
as you are both
absolutely.
sons, and I'm a daughter.
Yeah.
I would say the only thing that I would add to this Meg Meeker quote is that I think girls need physical affection from their dads.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I didn't see that mentioned, and I just feel like that is necessary.
She talks about it in the book, by the way.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you for the call.
Yes.
It's interesting in my partnership with my husband, he is way more touchy-feely than I am
Mm-hmm. Like with everyone or in your relationship?
in our relationship and with our children.
Got it.
And I have a very low threshold for being touched. And I really stretch myself with motherhood because my kids sometimes feel like they're crawling up my ass. And I need a break. And so sometimes I'm like, can you just go find your dad? I think daddy would really love
Like
to
a
hug you
hug
right now. Because I'm about to throw you across the room if you touch me one more time. But daddy would just enjoy your snuggles.
For sure.
You know, and just finding that balance between when to really stretch myself and when to really direct them to him. Now, that being said, I grew up with a dad who was not affectionate. Literally just in my 30th plus years has he become comfortable with giving me a hug.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I have to force him.
Mm-hmm.
Please,
Still.
Dad, just give me a fucking hug.
Yeah.
I'm not moving from in front of you until you hug me. And even then, it's the most awkward, painful thing I've ever asked him to do. But he does it, and he's growing, and it's fine. But he wasn't raised like that. Men don't hug. Men, basically the only affection they're allowed to do is when they're drunk, they can get really handsy with their wives. Or, if they're really excited, maybe they'll give you a fist bump or a big slap on the back. an attaboy, but there isn't a lot of cuddling or snuggling. And so I would like to see that change in the families where that maybe is the dynamic. I know it's not comfortable for everybody, but I do think there's something to be said for physical touch point for a little girl to go find her dad.
Absolutely.
And I will say, even in my teens, I remember needing that. I just wish someone strong and in control would hug me and tell me everything's going to be okay. And I feel that way as an adult woman. I remember feeling that way as a child. It makes perfect sense to me that that's something that fathers ought, I'm going to use that word.
Well,
to do.
And here's the reason I agree with that so much. I'm more like your husband. I'm more touchy-feely, especially with my kids and everything else. My son's not super touchy-feely. My girls are. They go through phases, etc., right? But I'm extremely touchy-feely. I could just hug them all day long. I'm good like that. But one of the things that I want my daughters to feel that I feel like is, here's a kind of uniquely dad role in my daughters. I'm the only person for my daughters that can teach them what safe touch is from a man.
Yeah.
Because who else are they going to learn it from? And I want them to know what's safe touch and what's not safe touch. And if they learn safe touch from me, then they're going to know later on as they get older what is safe touch and what's not safe touch. And I think that dads who do not touch their daughters like that do a great disservice to them, because then the daughters don't learn safe touch. And guess what? Don't want to admit this on the podcast, but I dated a couple of those girls that didn't have good daddies. And they are a certain type.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Because they want a lot of touch, and it's not necessarily always safe.
You know what? I think this is such an interesting, this is such a good conversation. I think, and Tyler, I'm totally roping in here.
Great.
Because you were present for one of the most astonishing admissions of my life.
What?
Yeah.
Tell us about this.
Tell the story, Tyler, from your perspective.
I'm going to take your special moment and retell it mansplaining style.
Mansplaining.
No. It was pretty powerful.
It was very powerful. Yeah. It was a little bit shocking. I don't even know that I have fully unpacked it yet. But here we are, live in real time.
I can't wait.
What better place to unpack than on the podcast?
Not on a podcast. That's
With
right.
a bunch of derelicts.
So my dad came into town. Maybe just, I guess, for your listeners' sake, just to give a very brief, concise history.
Okay.
I've already admitted I wasn't raised in a household with a lot of physical affection from any masculine energy. I was serially sexually abused for 4 years of my life from someone who was meant to be a coach, a mentor, a family friend in a position of power within a church dynamic. Wow. Very convoluted, very complicated. And it did involve this drive for comfort, security, and strength. And it was entirely misplaced and 100% horrifically abusive. Now, that being said, my dad is in my life. We have a decent enough relationship. We are really working to repair a lot of the things that went awry during that season in my life. And he's well aware that I go to therapy, have gone to therapy, will toot the therapy horn until the day I die. And my father is not known for his apologies or his capacity to admit any sort of fault or wrongdoing. And he came out and was visiting. I felt that he's been out a couple times. He lives in Texas. I live here, Pacific Northwest. He comes out to visit, and I just never know how it's going to go, given the history we have.
Right.
And this time it felt just really important to me to have him just kind of more integrated and understand my life here and the people that I love. And we happened to go out one night. Tyler was with us. It was Tyler, my husband, my dad, and myself. And we ended up at this bar for an event that was canceled. So we ended up in this quiet back room, all drinking a scotch or whiskey. And somehow the conversation completely morphed into my dad confessing that one of his life's greatest regrets is not hugging me, is not being there for me, is working too much, not communicating his love for me, and not protecting me.
This just
in
came
like
out.
The most blunt words. I mean, Tyler, am I
No, it was just like
misrepresenting
that.
it?
It wasn't like he was queued up for that either. It was kind of out of nowhere.
Really?
But I mean, we kind of talked about, I can't remember even what we were talking about, but
I think
it
we
was
were just
something that
talking
he
about how,
needed to get out.
Yeah. No, totally. It was like sitting on the surface for him because
Right.
it just bubbled over.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was powerful. So
Wow.
all of that to say, you struck a nerve in a great way. I think it is definitely worth bringing up. I think it's super important for men to hear this and for women to hear this. Women who are dating, women who are married, even and who have a partner. If you're not seeing these qualities in your partner, it is worth a discussion or a reevaluation of what your priorities are. It is so important, I will say, to have a masculine role, masculine energy, influence on your kids that also includes touch in that safe, protective way.
I'm not going to ask you to speak for your husband necessarily, but this is something that I've heard happens a lot. So my girls have not gone through puberty yet, obviously at 7 and 9 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've watched a lot of my friends and their daughters have gone through puberty and it becomes more difficult for them.
Totally.
Like even maybe they were okay with physical touch and then obviously they're developing and everything else and they're like, oh, I don't know how comfortable I am with physical touch anymore, etc.
Yeah.
Which I think is the most important time to have physical touch with your daughter, because if you don't, then you're going to like teach her that she's weird or something. Like
Totally.
not only is your body changing, but you're weird, so daddy won't touch you, right? Like that's the last thing. But I'm just curious, like, how your husband dealt with that, or like, because that's a different element, right? Because I just have younger kids. It's still really easy for me to hug my 7-year-old.
It is a complete mindfuck to watch your daughters grow into like
Right.
new
Young
bodies.
women.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Even as open and honest as a family, which I think we'll get to that eventually, but it is. It's just a trip to see how nature will do what it's going to do, and your
Right.
girls will become
For
women.
sure.
Point blank, like that's what's going to happen.
No matter if we're ready for it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to his credit, my husband is fantastic,
Yeah.
and I
know
think it
yours.
goes back to the opportunity. He is so great about reminding the girls, if you want a hug, I'm here and ready to give it to you. You let me know. And, if you want me to come in and say goodnight to you, I will. If you're not feeling it, we can say goodnight right here on the top of the stairs. I love you. And he's really generous with I love yous, really generous with even like that. It's not a hug, but maybe it's like a ruffle of the hair or like an arm around the shoulder or, hey, give me a high five. I mentioned he's their math teacher, so he has a lot of interaction with them during the day through academics, and he'll be like, give me a high five, heck yeah, can I get a hug?
Yeah.
And when they see it, I can't recall the last time our daughters have said no. They generally don't, but he's respectful if they don't. Like, he's really good. I know when he sees like Tyler's girls, he's like, what about a fist bump? How's it going?
Yeah.
And if they're like, I'm not really feeling it, he's like, cool. Elbow, nothing, great. Wait for me from across the room. That'll do,
Right.
So he's really, really good with that.
And to give him credit too, I think that what that exudes whenever I see that in any person, including your husband, is a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
And you have to have a lot of security and confidence in yourself to be okay with that, because
he's
otherwise,
like not slighted at all, but
Well,
yeah.
Exactly, because you could take that personally and be like, oh my god, my daughters never want to hug me. I'm so terrible. I'm such a bad dad. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you can easily go down that. Well, maybe only I've
I
done
mean,
that.
our girls,
Only you.
Oh,
girls
you've never done this,
made it
obviously.
to
It never
11
hurts your feeling when your daughter doesn't want to give you a hug.
Okay, good. I'm glad that
Yeah.
this only happens to me. Thanks.
Our girls got to 11 and 12 before they were like, Dad, I think we don't need tuck-ins anymore. We're good.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was like, and literally he would go in and do this thing, like he would turn them into a burrito,
Yeah.
like tuck the blankets in all the way down to their toes and give them a kiss on the head and say goodnight. And finally, then they were like, we're good. That kind of like was like, ugh.
Yeah. It's a stab.
Totally.
And he was like, okay, we're at that point now. They don't need me for bedtime.
So I obviously don't know
That
what
was
my
tough.
daughter is going to be like when she's a teenager, but she, as a 9-year-old, for the last 2 years has been this preteen where like she wants that sometimes and doesn't want that sometimes. And I'm just like, oh man, it's so hard sometimes. I'm like, where's my, like, why can't you just be my little girl? You're only 9.
Yeah.
Can't
Yeah.
you just be my little girl still?
It goes so fast.
And she'll just be like, no, I'm good. And it takes a lot of security and confidence in myself to know, like, oh, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
We have a good relationship. This is not about you,
Not
Josh.
personal.
This is not about you, Josh. This is what your daughter wants.
Thanks, guys.
Veronica, thanks so
Fun.
much for being here. I feel so honored and pleasured that you would actually be on here with us.
Of course.
Our first guest
This is fun. for
we've
me.
ever had.
Fun.
It's been fantastic. Tyler is
It's
stoked
been
right
like
now.
8 hours.
Yeah.
8-hour podcast with 6 of those hours being technical difficulties.
True.